The New York Knicks have just made a massive statement in Game 4 in Philadelphia, and Dariel and I are breaking this all down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. 3-1, baby! Let's go! I'm in my It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia jersey because it is a sunny day in New York and in Philadelphia. Though it's going to be a little cloudy with all the crying going down in Philly now that they're on the ropes officially. No Rocky comeback for y'all. Rocky's getting knocked out in 5. Embiid's going away home, crying into the locker room again. Tyrese Maxey doing nothing. Dariel, I mean, talk about statements. 47-10. Jalen.
My God, first of all, I don't know how to follow up that intro, but what I will say is it's not Jalen Brunson, it's Jalen BrunsHIM. Jalen BrunsHIM, who I have been saying has the opportunity to go down as one of, if not the best Knick of all time. Now he has a lot to prove before we get to that statement. But as far as right now in this postseason, he's had a few games where he didn't really show up. He's had a game here, game there, where it kind of felt like he could do a little better. But today, like you said, he put his foot down, made a statement, dropping 47 points, letting the rest of the Eastern Conference know that he is that boy. And that we're gonna close out this game in Game 5 back at the Garden. All the Knick fans watching this video, we need you guys to show up at the Garden because the tickets are gonna be extremely expensive. And Chris and I, we're still making our way into the upper echelon of the. We're still making our way to the upper echelon of the rich people. But yo, going back to this game, man. Yo, Jalen Brunson, 47 points. He had 18 of 34 from the field, which is 53% from the field. 2 of 8 from three-point land, which isn't great. But yo, just. This is what I'm talking about with him. It's just like what he exudes leadership. He exudes confidence. He exudes like I know that the team depends on me, and I know when I need to get a bucket for us. I know when I need to divert and give a pass up to the next leading man. He's just like, this is why I think he's just one of, if not one of, the better point guards in the league. But as a player as well, because if you're one of the better players in the league, you don't just affect the game in 1, 2, 3, or 4 ways. There has to be multiple different ways that you have to affect the game. Brunson has the offensive skills. Brunson has the leadership skills. Brunson has the basketball IQ. Brunson has like everything I'm gonna name. He has it, and he's showing it. And I'm so glad that he made a statement in this game. And I am so confident with him being our best player on the team for the rest of these playoffs.
47 of the Knicks' 97 points. And you're right. You have to impact the game in multiple ways. I don't know what these assists were on, whether they were 2s, whether they were 3s. So we're going to say, just for the sake of what I'm about to say here, that they were all 2s. That means Brunson was responsible for 57 of the Knicks' 97 points at the very least tonight.
Sheesh.
Counting the points and assist scores. And it's just, it is more than that. It's the fact also that not only is he an NBA superstar and the best player on the New York Knicks, which is a hard thing to do because how big of a market the Knicks are, Brunson's embodied it. And on top of that, he's a point guard. He has to run the floor regardless. This Knicks team, the one thing they lack, and this is especially the case due to missing Julius Randle with the injury, they don't really have shot creation outside of Brunson. DiVincenzo a little bit, though he did not have a great game tonight at all. Well, he actually just straight up played poorly. Brunson went out there and said, okay, I'm going to do what superstars in this league do. I'm going to will my team to a win the same way that Embiid did in Game 3. And there's no argument Joel Embiid is an NBA superstar. He absolutely is. He's the second best player in the NBA, if you ask me. Brunson showed why he's a superstar. That's not something some star or some low-end all-star player does. You never see some guy who's like on the end of an all-star bench go for 47-10 and just carry your team to a massive win. I don't want to call it a must-win because obviously it would have been a tie series. But if you want to step on the neck of a team, you respond to the game that happened on Game 3, which was chippy, which got the whole world watching this series with a game like that. He played 44 minutes, was outstanding in all of them. Probably would have played more, but he went back into the locker room briefly. He collided knees with Kyle Lowry. Came back soon after. I believe he came in with around 8:30 left in the game. Did the rest from there. Bojan Bogdanovic went down seconds into being into the game, which cut the Knicks' rotation to 7 guys. All of them stepped up. But when you're talking about stepping up, none bigger than OG Anunoby. To go out there and with Hartenstein at 5 fouls, to be the primary defender on Joel Embiid is so impressive. What's even more impressive is that he did a great job. I think Embiid had 2 points in the fourth quarter, and they were free throws.
I got to give props to Tibbs because Isaiah Hartenstein had 5 fouls, I think, since like the middle of the third quarter or something like that.
3:30 left in the third. He picked up his 5th.
Okay, so meaning he had the whole entire fourth quarter to play, but Tibbs was, like I said, I got to give credit to Tibbs because what I think Tibbs saw was that the unit that's out there, they're doing a good enough job to keeping us above water, and OJ Anunoby guarding Embiid / Precious, they were doing a good enough job, so Tibbs didn't mess up the flow. And that's something I want to point out to Tibbs because we're constantly saying that Tibbs' substitution patterns, we're constantly saying Tibbs' offensive schemes, defensive schemes, we're constantly calling him out, but we also got to give him a little bit of flowers. So he was able to see that the flow that the defense was playing with, he didn't want to mess it up. Now, granted, of course, he wanted to have Isaiah Hartenstein in his back pocket, but I do like that because I don't normally see that from coaches. So I'm just saying that's like a constant thing with NBA coaches. They like to stick with what they know. They like to stick to what they like. But Tibbs was like, no, this unit is doing good. Let me just leave them out there and let them just finish out the game, which they did, and they did an amazing job.
I was watching this game with my family today, and I said the exact same thing to them at one point. At the end of the fourth, not the very end, but like with around 4 minutes left in the fourth, there obviously comes with the question, do you put Hartenstein back in the game and risk him getting that 6th foul? And Tibbs didn't. And I think that was the right move because the Knicks rotation of their, Brunson, Hart, Deuce, OG, and Precious was working. And the Knicks did a good job. Well, Tibbs did a good job not making a change there. Where I think in past years, you could even go back to last season, I don't know if he would have done that.
Absolutely
not. So I think he would have made the changes anyway and thrown 100%. The starters in. Like, the thing is, Tibbs is growing every year as a coach. Despite the fact that he's been in the NBA for so long, he's still growing and becoming a better coach. I think this is the best season that Tom Thibodeau has ever coached in his life. He has been amazing this year. Both of us have been critical of Tibbs. I've been very critical of him, especially prior to this season. He has done an outstanding job shutting me right up. And even outside of that, it's just the mindset that he brings to these guys. Like OG, like stepping up and guarding Joel Embiid, going for 16 points, pulling down 14 rebounds. Josh Hart couldn't have hit a shot if his life depended on it tonight. Goes for 17 boards. Just gets every rebound. He adjusted his game so well. I mean, no one on the 76ers had over 10 rebounds. Embiid had 10. Outside of that, there was no one else. The Knicks had both OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, guys who were both mainly wings and wing forward type players, leading the game in rebounds. Like, they did an excellent job tonight.
The 76ers should absolutely be embarrassed that the guards beat them on the boards. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's been the theme.
They should have won this game.
100%. And just the theme of the whole series is that the Knicks have been just out-rebounding them, out-hustling them, out-manning them, out-muscle. Like, they should just be embarrassed. Like, they have the bigger bodies. They have the better talent. Watching that towards the end of the game, the last 2-3 minutes, what the hell were they doing, Like, Joel Embiid, first of all, was not really calling for the ball. They weren't really looking for him. Like, I was watching the game, and I'm like, they're giving us the game right now. What are they doing? And, like, I don't know if it's, like, a curse that the 76ers have. Like, it's just time and time again, like, whenever things come down to the last moments where things get really, really intense, they just crumble, And, again, like I said, they have the better talent. They have the bigger bodies. This series should be a little bit more competitive than it is. And, I just want to get your take as far as, like, what did you see? Because I didn't see the Sixers really executing their game plan. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, man.
I think Nick Nurse is coaching a horrible series because when you look at this, the Knicks have won these 3 games. All 3 of these games the Knicks have won while at one point or another being down double digits. The Knicks want this more. They just want to win more than the 76ers do. I think it's as simple as that. And something that Sean Bernard, who might not know who that is the lead for Sixers Digest, he tweeted out basically saying, why, for the first time in Embiid's life, is he playing the whole second half right now? This feels like a mistake. Maybe that's why Embiid wasn't going for the ball. But you are right. if you're the best player on a basketball team, which you have been way more often than I have, I average 4 points per game in my rec league. Um, like you go get the ball. It doesn't matter if you're tired. Look at Brunson. He went and got the ball no matter what. He was just hunting the ball down. He's like, no, I'm the best player. I need to do this. This is my responsibility right here. Joel Embiid did not do that tonight. He let other guys, other role players for the 76ers, none of whom, I'm not counting Max, he's a role player at all in this, none of the role players on the 76ers, so everyone outside of Embiid and Maxey, none of them have had a consistent series whatsoever. Lowry's had moments. Kelly Oubre's been great defensively and had a good offensive game last game in game 3. I think the Knicks want it more. I just genuinely do. They seem like they want to win more. That's why they're getting the 76ers. That's why they're getting out-rebounded by 6'4" Josh Hart when you have Joel Embiid on the court. There's no excuse for that.
That's crazy. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, Joel Embiid, we all know that he's dealing with an injury, and obviously he knows as well, but he's said a million times, and obviously he's showing us that he's going to play for the rest of this series. So if you're out there on the court, being the best player on the team, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. You go get the ball. You know you need to make a play. You're the best player on the team. You get the ball. You make a play. If it's either you make a bucket or you put the onus on the refs and you get the foul and you go to the free throw line, there's no excuse. Now, having said that, I also want to give a little bit of flowers to Joel Embiid because he's playing on one leg. Like, it's insane what he's doing. He's literally playing on one leg, and the last game he dropped 50. This game, he didn't really have a good game. I think he had like 23 points. Joel Embiid had 27 points, but again, it's like you're out there on the court. Like, there's no excuses. If you're putting your body on the line and you're out there on the court, then you got to come up big. I do want to go back to something that you were saying a little bit earlier. You were talking about shot creation, and you're talking about how BrunsHIM is kind of the only person that can do that because Donte DiVincenzo can do a little bit of it, and I'll throw Josh Hart in there as well. He can do a little bit of shot creation for himself and others. But this leads me to the next point. Now that Bogey is... What's the injury exactly? He sprained his ankle, basically?
Yeah, basically him and Nick Batum were hunting for the ball. Batum dove. Not a dirty play at all.
No.
That happens when you dive for the ball. Sometimes you get an ankle caught. That happened to Bogey.
Yeah.
Also, Bogey's separately dealing with a wrist injury that might need surgery in the offseason.
True. It's just the reason why I was confused is because he didn't roll his ankle. It just looked like Batum landed on it weirdly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a little confused. But now that Bogey, we don't know if he's going to play in the next game or how much longer he's going to be out for the series. Who is going to be the player or two players that are going to step up to help the core group of Hart, Donte, and Jalen BrunsHIM? And today we got an answer of OG and Anunoby, but I think moving forward we have to get a tandem of OG and Deuce. I think those are the two players that are gonna have to pick up their play, and we're gonna need OG and Anunoby. Yeah, good game today, 16 points, 14 rebounds, great defensively. Deuce had a decent game, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point land. But moving forward, we're gonna need more from both of them. And from Deuce, it might be asking a lot, but at this point, we've seen you come up big in the regular season. We've seen you come up big in previous playoff games in this series. And there's no, you just got to come up. You got to come up big. I'm looking for, anywhere between 15 to 20 points from Deuce. And for OG and Anunoby, I'm looking from anywhere between 20 to 25 points.
I mean, yeah, obviously going for 47 and 10 as Jalen Brunson is unsustainable. But I think we also do need to highlight Donte DiVincenzo, just a poor game.
Facts.
That shouldn't continue to happen. The Knicks cannot allow it to continue to happen. Josh Hart had easily his worst game of the playoffs, and the fact that he pulled down 17 rebounds in the process says a lot about Josh Hart. So they're going to need to get back scoring the ball as per usual. I'm not against this. I think there's a world where you experiment with giving Bogey's minutes to Alec Burks and telling Burks sit in the corner and spot up and shoot threes. I understand Burks played horribly for the Knicks after the trade. I get it. But there's no reason to believe why if Alec Burks sits in the corner, he can't be the spot-up shooter that he's been for the last 10 years of his NBA career. I'm convinced he can. They need 7 minutes of Alec Burks standing in the corner and shooting threes. I think he can do that and go 1 for 2, 2 for 3 from 3. And those points will be all the difference. I mean, say that's 6 points. The Knicks won by 5 tonight. If Donte DiVincenzo didn't hit those 2 back-to-back threes, which gave the Knicks so much momentum, Knicks probably lose tonight, especially when you consider they won by 5. So I do think it wouldn't be the worst idea to add that in, just so you don't have to play all your guys the entire game, pretty much.
Giving Alec Burks those minutes are kind of by default. You know, I get
Yeah.
it. So like I wouldn't want that, but it would be by default. So I guess it's okay because Bogus, we don't know how long he's gonna be out, if he's gonna be out. So if he gets those minutes, then I guess we just gotta hope to see if he comes up big because he's not gonna give those minutes to Shake Milton. Milton is he's completely out of the rotation. Do you want to get into your whole Precious propaganda?
That is where I was going to go to next because I do. All right, look.
Oh,
I get he went 0 for 5 from the field. I get that he went up for a dunk when the Knicks were down 1 point and he missed it.
He can't catch the ball.
Okay, I understand. He also made massive defensive plays.
True.
It's undeniable. I understand that watching Precious Achiuwa playing offense is probably closer to watching me go out there and play offense instead of like going out to watch most NBA players. Just some uncoordinated mess. I think Precious gave an energy tonight. That 3 that he blocked from Joel Embiid was absolutely incredible when it comes to energy. He made massive defensive plays. The Knicks needed a big body. They went with Precious. He did what they needed from him. Was it nice to look at? No. It was an ugly, ugly brand of basketball, but it worked defensively. I need him to not go 0 for 5, considering like 2 of the shots that he took were, gimmies at the rim. So I understand why you were anti-Precious Achiuwa.
The constant theme of Precious season. He can't catch the ball, uncoordinated. He misses bunnies. Yes, defensively he was great. You could play defensive. You could play as great of defense if you're prime Scottie Pippen. But at some point, you still need to put the ball in the bucket. So if Precious Achiuwa is playing amazing on the defensive end, when Precious Achiuwa crosses the half court and it becomes offensive, we're playing 5-on-4. We're literally playing 5-on-4.
He got rebounds. He got a bunch of
offensive rebounds.
Like he's not some net negative on offense to where it's like he can get played off the court. It's not that. It's not Ben Simmons. It's not that bad. I mean, he can't score at all. But like, he does the dirty.
Yeah, I guess it's just me personally. Me personally, I just want all my players to be able to offer something on the offensive end, and that literally, it could mean just you being the dunker spot and just laying the ball into the hoop. And to me, he's not even able to do that. And if you're not even able to do that, then you're certainly not able to create off the dribble. You're not able to create yourself. You're not able to hit a mid-range jumper. You're not able to hit a three-pointer. Like these things, it's a domino effect. But if he's going to keep playing like this and do the dirty work and get offensive rebounds and get hustle plays, then okay. But man, I don't know, man. I feel like it's gonna bite us in the long run. And eventually it's gonna catch up to us. But for today, I'll let him rock. So would you say, alongside Jalen Brunson, would you say Precious is the co-MVP, or would you have someone else in that spot? How would you gauge it?
I think it's undeniable. You just have to fully give that to Brunson. He was the MVP of this game. He is the MVP of my life.
Of the world.
He's number 11 on the court and number 1 in my heart. Here he is. Thank you, sir.
I need to get that.
So hold him. I have nowhere to place him on my desk right now, so I'm gonna hold JB while I finish. I'm gonna hold him in my left hand because I like my right hand's my mic hand.
Salute.
But look, next game is on the 30th, so in 2 days, on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I believe. It's TBD, but it'll probably be at 7 p.m. The New York Knicks will be facing the Philadelphia 76ers in Madison Square Garden. There is something about MSG that happened at Wells Fargo Center that there's a 0.00% chance of happening in New York. The opposing team isn't getting an MVP chance. Jalen Brunson's getting an MVP chance at Wells Fargo. Like, that is the difference. The 76ers fans should be ashamed of themselves. Because the Knicks fans, like, I understand no matter what players are always going to say about their team, we have the best fans in the world. The New York Knicks fans, genuinely the best fans in the world. Like, as DiVincenzo said at the end of game 1, I believe it was, he's like, it's these guys right here. It's all of them. They carry us through this game. They give us momentum. They keep us grounded. They do everything for us, that they help with the momentum. Knicks fans are great with helping their team hold momentum in a way that the 76ers fans literally got overrun by New Yorkers today. At the end of the game, Jalen Brunson was getting MVP chance. That's not happening in New York. It's a 0% possibility. Look, bro,
Tragic.
I think this ends in 5.
Okay.
I just don't see a world where Philly, now having zero momentum, can go into MSG where players have literally said in the playoffs, the floor is shaking. No one knows how to deal with that as well as Knicks fans because they're used to this. They're used to these octaves of just fans screaming at the top of their lungs. So I think the Knicks fans are going to help them carry through this momentum. And I think this is a 5-game series. I don't see Philadelphia being able to go back to Philly with another game to play. I think they have one more game left in their season.
Originally, I had them winning in 7, but I think they're going to close it out in 5. And if we're being honest, they need to close it out in 5 because we don't want Joel Embiid to get any sort of confidence, which is why I was a little surprised about how he played today because the last game he dropped a 50 burger. So I just expected him to be a little bit more demanding, just to be a little bit more, I don't know, just to be a little bit more lively. And maybe you can say he was that in the first half, but in the fourth quarter, I was like, what are you doing? Like, he's showing me like Anthony Davis. It was kind of crazy. Like, I think they need to close out in 5 because we don't want to give 76ers any chance of momentum, any chance of confidence, anything. So we need to close out in 5.
I agree, and this does beg the question that I do want to ask. I'd say a week and a half ago, right before the playoffs started, I predicted the Knicks would win in 5, and in either game 3 or game 4, Joel Embiid would just go for 50 and the Knicks would lose because when a player goes for 50 in the playoffs, you lose that game. That's just how it goes. Brunson goes for 47. Philly lost that game. That's just because there's less scoring in the playoffs. So if one player does that, you're almost certainly going to lose that game unless they're actually the only person to score whatsoever. Do you think Joel Embiid is burning out?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that he's burning out. I mean, he's playing on one leg. Like he came into the series playing at what 45%. It wasn't even 50%. And just the more wear and tear he's playing on that leg, he's not having enough time to rest. He gets a day or two in between. So I think it's fair to say that he's definitely burning himself out. And I mean, you got to give him credit for showing us that he does care, for showing the basketball fans that he does want to win and he's willing to put his body on the line. But at this point, man, like, I honestly don't know what his career looks like forward physically. Like, I don't know physically how he's going to look. Like, he might be laboring for the rest of his career. I don't think we're ever going to see him have a complete, fully healthy season from the beginning of the season all the way up until if they ever make an Eastern Conference Finals, if they ever make an NBA Finals. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. And then another question I have is, like, is he going to play in the Olympics? Him and Kawhi, because Kawhi is not healthy. So, like, if Kawhi doesn't play, do they call out Brunson?
I hope not.
Why not?
I want him to rest. Played in FIBA last year. Done everything for this team. I want some rest for our guy. Now, I understand. It's like he's not going to play a ton. They're bringing out the just, like, Redeem Team Part 2. So I understand that Brunson would probably only play 5, 6, 7 minutes a game. But with the practices and all, I'd kind of like Brunson to go to Cancun, drink a margarita.
Yeah, man. But honestly, if you look at every single Olympics that we've won, there's always been that one player who takes a huge leap the following season, and it's because they were around all the superstars. They were around the Kobes, the LeBrons, the Kevin Durants, you know? And it's like, maybe if Brunson goes to the Olympics, he could just go to the Olympics. And yeah, he's not going to play a lot, but he could soak up all the knowledge. He could see how LeBron works on the offseason. He could see how Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, he could just bring all that, soak it all in, and then bring it to the Knicks. And Brunson is already the best player on the team. Brunson has already taken a leap from last season. So imagine going into next season with all the knowledge that he'll learn from the Olympics this upcoming summer. Imagine the leap that he could make. But I mean, I don't think it'll happen, so that's not something that we even need to think about. I'm just saying, it's an interesting what if.
Knicks up 3-1. We have Philly on the ropes. This is not a Rocky story at all. One more punch, and they're dropping faster than when Anthony Joshua dropped Francis Ngannou, when Max Holloway dropped Justin Gaethje. It's going to look very similar. Had to get my combat sports references in there. So, guys,
Make sure to tune in to all the Knicks Digest videos. We're coming at you like crazy for this postseason. We're going to talk some potential matchups soon, considering it does look like one of these two teams we could face is heavily injured. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Knicks Digest, like this video, leave a comment, helps us out a ton. And make sure to always remember Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs, Taj Gibson for president. Guys, have a great day. Go Knicks. We'll catch you later. Peace.
Peace.